Let's see. Let's see if there's any chance to turn it around. Well, we got a fucking bye week next time, so... and then after that, we got the Ravens. Not too bad. He's been kind of stinking it up recently, especially without Marquise player. We got Grady and the Browns. That's gonna be tough. We got Mo, easy win. Just count that as a double already. Redskins always gives me problems. I don't know why. He doesn't have Paul Richardson anymore, but he still has Terry McLaurin and I'm pretty sure someone else. But he always gives me trouble. Bengals is a good user. I don't think I've even played on this Madden though. And then we got fucking Rams again. Just count that as an L. Oh wait, I don't play. For some reason I thought I played fucking Green Bay and the Raiders. I don't know why. I just could have. Maybe I just saw that in a fucking nightmare or some shit. But anyways, mark this as an L. Eagles is always a good matchup. Mark that as another win. And then 49ers, I don't think I've lost to this Madden, so mark that as a win. So we can go, what, 1, 2. Eagles is a winnable matchup, 3. Bengals is a winnable matchup, 4. Redskin is winnable, but potentially bad. Tough matchup. So let's just say 6, because I need to win as many games as possible to get to the playoffs. So 6, 7, and 8. If I win 8 of my last 9 games, I could make the playoffs, I think. Because I am, what, 2-5? I would end up, well, actually, I would end up 10-6 in the NFC. So that's rough, actually. I don't think 10-6 in the NFC actually gets you in. Because you got the Bears and Packers, which are always a lock to... Normally the Bears will get the wild card, so that's always a lock. And then the NFC East always has a lot of contenders, but they always beat themselves up, so it seems like they don't really always get a second person in. NFC South's really weak. And then the NFC West, the only other person who can get in is Mo, but I don't know if he can get in. Like let me look at his schedule. Let's see if he's played the really tough guys yet. Well, he has played Rams already. I also lost to Steelers. He already played Lions and lost, and he beat the Redskins and Falcons. So he still has the Browns. We still have the same schedule, actually. Except he has to face the Giants still. And the Cowboys. So I think he has 2 more L's than me on the roster. He has Giants and Cowboys. Which I think are definite L's for him. So... And he is only like... And he's 3-3. So I think if he loses, let's see, if he loses his last 10 games, or not 10 games, let's just say he loses 3, he'd also be 10-6. But if I double beat him, then I can beat him. Yeah. Okay. Let's go over some stats right before our bye week. Well, Russell Wilson's actually having a pretty good year. He's on pace for probably about 4,500 yards. He has a pretty good completion rating, 69%. He was a lot higher earlier in the year, but the last couple of games dropped it. 13 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. 9 interceptions is more than I'd like, only halfway through the season. Normally I'm a little bit better about taking care of the ball, but I think I've only thrown like 3 interceptions in the past 4 games, so a lot of these interceptions were at the beginning of the season. 13 touchdowns, wish that would get up, but hopefully I want to try and get like 30 touchdowns with him by the end of the season. He is our leading rusher also, if you didn't know. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is 2.6 yards a carry, and he's only has 99 carries in 7 games, so he's only been getting like He's only been getting like fucking barely more than 15 carries a game. Actually 15 carries a game would put him at 30 at 105. He's been getting about 14 carries a game, and he only has 257 yards. So that's not very good. And you might say, why not run Chris Carson? He has 5 yards a carry. Well, he doesn't really do much either with his blocking. Last year, he only had he did have a better average than Edwards-Helaire, because he's at least pretty good at like falling forward. But honestly, he's had like 2 kind of big runs. Like he has a 35-yarder, but yeah, he's had like 2 big runs that just props up this average.
Bruh, look at this dude. Wait till you see the. No. Look at the top of his head. Look at his lips.
And then going on to receiving, we got Isaiah Turbin, my boy, going for 1,000 yards. He's on pace. I think last time I checked, he's on pace for 130-ish catches for 1,300 yards, something like that. Edwards-Helaire has also been catching the ball a shit ton. He's on pace for like 100 catches and not quite 1,000 yards. Metcalf has been super quiet after starting the season with 4 touchdowns in the first 2 games. He has 16 catches. I don't want to talk about it, okay? I don't want to talk about it. I know I don't give him the ball enough. I should have traded him for like 2 first-round picks. I don't know, man. I just didn't want to get rid of him because I like him. I mean, okay, people, like, I'm pretty sure people just look at my roster and they're like, DK's his only threat, right? And so then they just double him the entire fucking game, which is why Turbin gets 10 catches a game. Edwards-Helaire gets 8 catches a game. And then DK gets 2 catches a game. And then one might go for an 80-yard touchdown, because that's how I just use him now. I just use him for one-on-ones and stretching the defense. He draws so much coverage every game that I'm able to get other people open. These 2. And Disley. Although Disley actually hasn't had a very big impact this game, or this year. Yeah. Normally he does a little bit better. Let's look at this player card. Let's look at his ratings, actually. He has 77 speed, which isn't great, but he's a good blocker. And he has decent route running, not great. It's decent for tight end. His catching is really good. He catches like everything. 78 catch in traffic. Yeah, he's pretty good. But what I wanted to look at was his stats per season. I feel like he normally does a little bit better than this. Yeah, the first season he had 68 for 763. He's pretty much hovered around 750. Jesus Christ, he's been consistent. Holy shit. How much more consistent can you be? He's ended 3 of the last 4 seasons with exactly 68 catches. And he's had 5 touchdowns each of those seasons. Or not each of those seasons, but he's had 5 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns. 68 catches, 65 catches, 68, 68. Holy shit. Well, he is very low, actually. He is very much below that average, actually, so... I don't know why he's not getting... Like, I mean, I ran this same playbook last year, and he got this, tied for the most catches and the most yardage, and tied for the most... I mean, you can't even really say it's the most yardage when it was literally 11 more yards as 1 catch for him. But, yeah. But he is way below that this year, so... I think it's just because I have another receiving threat this year. I've been using Edwards-Helaire so heavily in the passing game. But moving on, and then actually I want to talk about a little bit about our third receiver. Hakeem Butler? was our third receiver at the beginning of the year. He had 9 for 195 and 2 touchdowns. Which is, you think is like, that's pretty decent for a third receiver material, considering you get Disley and your running back a lot of catches too, right? But he dropped so many passes. I don't know why it's not tracked here. It's tracked at the end of games, but he dropped so many passes that it was just unbearable. So I started starting Noah Brown like the past 2 games, and maybe the past 3 games, but he already has more catches than him. Like, not as explosive catches, but at least he fucking catches the ball, you know? We're not even gonna look at blocking. I don't think that gets tracked right. But Bobby, 48 tackles. He's on pace for about 100. I guess we'll go back to tackles. Anthony Walker's been pretty decent this year. Probably better than I could have asked for from like a 73 overall linebacker that I just signed in free agency. Marquise Blair has been pretty good. Although I user him a lot because his zone awareness is so fucking bad that I can't deal with it. Like his curl flat, like you even heard me say it in the game a couple times last game, but he fucking just doesn't cover where he's supposed to cover in a curl flat. He never covers the corner route. It's so frustrating. But anyways, it doesn't matter. Tedrick Thompson, whatever. Tacos for loss, Anthony Walker, actually. 8 for him, 7 for Bobby, 7 for Jadeveon Clowney. He's my best run stopper, so that makes sense. For sacks, we're not doing too good in sacks as a team, but Zion actually has 6.5. He had like a 3-sack game recently. 6.5 for him, 4 for Jadeveon, 4 for Reed, 3.5 for Ioannidis. These are my 4 starting linemen, and I don't really blitz that much, so it's good to see that they're all at least having a mild amount of production. They should all end the season with at least 7 sacks. Or he should get like 12. Anthony Walker and Bobby both have 2 sacks. I don't even know how they have 2 sacks because they must rush like 1% of plays, but my other linebacker has 1. As you can see, I don't rush corners ever, as they don't have any sacks. But I have 5 interceptions on the season. I have less than an interception a game. Oh my god, this is why I'm losing games. Oh my god, my guys are just dropping things and I guess just not covering well enough to get interceptions. I have 5 total interceptions on the season. This one's a user, I almost guarantee it. Actually, never mind, I know it's a user. I almost guarantee Tedrick's was a user, and T's wasn't. So I think all 3 of my cornerback picks were actual picks, and then Tedrick and Bobby were both users. But, like, 5 interceptions in 7 games in Madden is unacceptable. That is absolutely unacceptable. Bobby is 7 drop picks. No, actually, a lot of these are pass deflections because honestly, I should get more user picks, but I kind of just like, I think I go too close to the receivers, so I end an animation with them instead of just being in front of them and getting a pick. That's one thing my user is really bad at, but Jaden Grove and Tedrick Thompson, now these are drop picks. Actually, Jaden Grove actually has some animations where he gets that. Bobby has 3 forced fumbles on the season. Ioannidis has 1. And I actually have recovered 3. Normally, my recovery to force rate is really bad. I somehow only recover like a quarter of the fumbles that I force, but for some reason, I'm actually doing really good this year. This is a first. Kicking, we've missed 4 fucking field goals this year. No extra points yet. Interesting. Punting, we actually have 6 inside the 20, which I would at least want like 1 a game. I didn't get any last game because I'm bad. But 50 yards a punt's pretty good, actually. Isaiah Turbin's a pretty decent returner. Now let's go with some team stats. We are 20th in offensive yards, as you can see. We are moderately in the middle to high in passing yards, which is surprising because I'm like top 3 in sacks taken. We are like bottom. We are surprisingly even this high in rushing yards, but we're like probably about 25th in rushing yards. Actually, no, probably a little bit lower, probably like 20th. Our points per game is pretty low, actually. Wow, that's bottom 10. First downs gained is pretty good because I run a offense that I'm not looking for just deep shots all the time like a lot of people. So I actually convert a lot of first downs. Wow. My defense. Well, I guess a lot of people haven't played their games yet this week, but still. We're bottom 5 in fucking defense. Total yards allowed. What about points? Holy shit, we are bottom 10 in points allowed. What about passing yards? Holy shit. Oh wait, never mind. Yeah, no, I'm stupid. No. We're bottom 10 in fucking passing yards allowed. We're bottom 10 in rushing yards allowed. We're actually middle of the pack in sacks. We have the second least amount of interceptions in the league. That is so unbelievably dumb. I can't believe I have 5 interceptions. But going on to conversions. Not very good in this. I have the most third down attempts. Interesting. Going red zone efficiency. Wow, we actually convert. Well, actually, okay. This is a misleading number because I've kicked 8 field goals in 17 attempts. And you should I should be converting touchdowns more. My touchdown to conversion rate is only like 50% right now, so that's not very good. But at least I don't turn it over. Actually, how many red zone trips do I have? I probably actually mid-pack. Mid-pack's not terrible. I expected worse. We're mid-pack in red zone defensive trips, and I give up a touchdown seemingly every time they enter. So that's really bad. Penalties. I actually looked at this one on Daddy Leagues. I have tied for the most amount of penalties. I've tied for the most amount of penalties, and I have not simmed a game this year. That's so unlucky, actually. Like, Rams, at least, I know has simmed at least 1 game this year. So he probably got a lot of his penalties from that. I don't have that many penalty yardage, apparently. But, like, 20 penalties. That is 20 drives that could have been stalled. Turnover difference, we're probably pretty low in this because I have... Actually, I mean, honestly, I figured I'd be lower considering I have fucking 5 interceptions on the season, but I guess I only have 10 giveaways too, so... As far as giveaways, we are actually pretty good at not giving the ball away, per usual. Takeaways, we're actually not bottom. We're not bottom fragging. And that's the stats. Pretty dismal, if I do say so myself. See if we can get it back on track, though. Now let's go to some team stats. We are 20th in offensive yards, as you can see. We are moderately in the middle to high in passing yards, which is surprising because I'm like top 3 in sacks taken. We are like bottom. We are surprisingly even this high in rushing yards, but we're like probably about 25th in rushing yards. Actually, no, probably a little bit lower, probably like 20th. Our points per game is pretty low, actually. Wow, that's bottom 10. First downs gained is pretty good because I run a offense that I'm not looking for just deep shots all the time like a lot of people. So I actually convert a lot of first downs. Wow. My defense. Well, I guess a lot of people haven't played their games yet this week, but still. We're bottom 5 in fucking defense. Total yards allowed. What about points? Holy shit, we are bottom 10 in points allowed. What about passing yards? Holy shit. Oh wait, never mind. Yeah, no, I'm stupid. No. We're bottom 10 in fucking passing yards allowed. We're bottom 10 in rushing yards allowed. We're actually middle of the pack in sacks. We have the second least amount of interceptions in the league. That is so unbelievably dumb. I can't believe I have 5 interceptions. But going on to conversions, not very good in this. I have the most third down attempts. Interesting. Going red zone efficiency. Wow, we actually convert. Well, actually, okay. This is a misleading number because I've kicked 8 field goals in 17 attempts. And you should I should be converting touchdowns more. My touchdown to conversion rate is only like 50% right now, so that's not very good. But at least I don't turn it over. Actually, how many red zone trips do I have? I probably actually mid-pack. Mid-pack's not terrible. I expected worse. We're mid-pack in red zone offensive trips, and I give up a touchdown seemingly every time they enter. So that's really bad. Penalties. I actually looked at this one on Daddy Leagues. I have tied for the most amount of penalties. I've tied for the most amount of penalties, and I have not simmed a game this year. That's so unlucky, actually. Like, Rams, at least, I know has simmed at least one game this year. So he probably got a lot of his penalties from that. I don't have that many penalty yardage, apparently. But, like, 20 penalties. That is 20 drives that could have been stalled. Turnover difference, we're probably pretty low in this because I have... Actually, I mean, honestly, I figured I'd be lower considering I have fucking 5 interceptions on the season, but I guess I only have 10 giveaways too, so. As far as giveaways, we are actually pretty good at not giving the ball away, per usual. Takeaways, we're actually not bottom. We're not bottom fragging. And that's the stats. Pretty dismal, if I do say so myself. See if we can get it back on track, though.
Said I pull up, get it buck in the ice cream truck. Your sister driving while I pipe your mama in the trunk. Whip full of birds and they all trying to cluck. And they treating all my wood like a fucking woodchuck.